Hey, it's Ben. So again, here is page 2, and I went ahead and I made the font larger because I realized you may not be able to really see the text very clearly depending on what kind of device you're watching it on. I'm pretty much always using a 27-inch monitor, so that could vary. But yeah, this is page 2, so it's a national bank, and then starting on the third panel, the interior of this dumb bank. And like I said before, it's a comedy, so for example, Becky says, "Everybody on the ground, this is a robbery. Don't make me shout more cliches at you." And, there's some other funny stuff, but it is a funny comic, so hopefully you get a couple chuckles out of it, and it's not something all dark and brooding and bringing you down. We have enough of that in real life, unfortunately, so, you take your chuckles where you can get them. All right, so as far as it being in the interior of a bank, I went to Google and I just typed in bank interior and, just kind of looked through a lot of these different pictures and tried to figure out what a big, dumb, generic bank would look like. Like, for example, on the outside, could do something like that. But I'm not considering the outside of the bank at this time. I'm just looking at the interior. So just going through these pictures and seeing what I can find. And I did come up with a few pictures, and I kind of highlighted specific areas that I'm interested in using. So I kind of like this TV with a couple of chairs and maybe like these ornaments or these, artwork style, you'd call them, placards. I don't even know what they're called, but I think it looks pretty cool. Putting some seats in a circle with a table, maybe a little plant. Whoops. And then this one, basically just this kind of a table here or a separator so that we can have people standing in line. And this one's also good because it gives, there's people inside, so it gives a good visual representation of the size, which I do use 3D mannequins occasionally, and I can just pop them in there, and when I start modeling my scene, I can model them to scale based on just my visual preference, what I think looks right. But I can also reference a picture like this to say, well, if this guy's kind of leaning over a little bit, he's in a relaxed pose, his elbow is going to be right there on the countertop or the tabletop. This one is kind of a big, dumb bank. It's the size I'm looking for. It's really big and open. Again, you've got like these 4 chairs around a table, although this one's not circular, and the chairs are different. I do like it. It looks pretty cool. And then mostly it's this opening. So here's the front door. There's kind of this little area where you walk through the outside door into this area inside the inside door. Possibly it's a city that gets really cold in the winter or hot in the summer, and it may help regulate the temperature. But I really do like this as far as like the front, the street facing doors. And then this one, I just really like the way this looks. Obviously in real life this is kind of like a cheap laminate wood, but I still think the color and it just looks really pretty. As far as bank teller windows go, I like these lights. I like the lights in the ceiling. Maybe have some posters. I could do TVs, but I don't want to really mess with trying to make something look like a TV, whereas a poster is static. The image is not going to change. I could do something simpler like that, even just some like graphic with some text on it. And there's I like this foliage that's hanging off the end here. You can see some little dial pads or number pads, these keyboards. So there must be a monitor over here. Yeah, you can see some little bells to ring, plaques here for FDIC. I mean, a lot of these things might not even make it into the 3D model, but I do want to have enough reference to basically know what a bank looks like, at least generically or generally. Again, I'm not trying to make an exact model of my local bank. I'm just gathering general bank reference to use so that I can create an approximation, something that is obviously a bank in my 3D. This one is mostly here for like a little, I guess it's like an ATM, more like something you might find in a 7-Eleven, but there's just a monitor, there's a curved surface here, there's like a keypad, a keyboard. And when it comes time to modeling this in more detail, which I may or may not, I mean, it's going to be drawn. I don't know how much of it I'll actually see, but I at least have the general shape and size. Again, there's a person next to it, so I'm going to be able to reference the size in comparison to a human being. And then this is like a second floor. I'm not sure I would go with that, but it just depends. We'll see how it goes. I like the way this looks though, with this nice railing. Again, there's 4 chairs around a table. Seems to be a common theme. Some artwork hanging on the walls, and then the bank is down on the bottom. So this is something that I could consider, and I'm not sure if this is actually curved or if it's just the camera. It's probably straight, but I'm not sure. So we'll see. Again, it's just giving me an idea of what it could look like. It's just giving me bank ideas in general. So at the end, I just basically put these all together into a collage. This way I'm not flipping through a bunch of different pictures. I have them all at one, easy to use, easy to access place. And I flattened that down. I called it Interior Collage. And then, there's the story. I hope you guys can read that. I made it a little bit bigger than before. Here's my bank interiors. Google's your friend. You can almost find everything there, and if you can't, you may take your own photos. You might go to Pinterest. You might go to, there's all kinds of places, but I think there's enough images online that you can mostly find what you're looking for. And then I have this is my Gumroad. So I mentioned mannequins, and mannequins are right here. It's a Body Mechanics Rig Mega Pack. And you can see it right here, Body Mechanics Rig Mega Pack. You've got 12 different body styles, so you could use this as like the Incredible Hulk. You could use this as Superman, or kind of like a chunky Dark Knight Batman. This guy could be the Flash. It's a pretty awesome rig. So again, I use this in my, I'll show that later once I start playing around with it, but this pretty much gives you all the body types that you could look for, and I find it an invaluable resource to pose my characters and then put the camera in sort of odd positions. So instead of struggling to try to make it look decent just out of my imagination, which if I were a better artist, I guess that's what I would be doing, but this is here, it's available. And if you think it would help you, you could consider purchasing something like this yourself. And it was a little bit difficult for me to pull the trigger on it, but I did feel it would be worth it, and it definitely has been worth it. So I'll kind of show how it's used when I get around to it. For right now, I don't even know who I'm going to use. I'll probably use Tina for both Stupid Girl and Becky. And I'm not really sure. Maybe this JJ for the other guy, or possibly Jack. But it's pretty awesome. Now you can see this is $275, so it is not cheap. With that being said, I got this in April of 2020, and I checked my email receipt and I paid $40. So I got it for super, super, super cheap. Like a huge discount. I am not in a position to pay $275. Is it worth that much? That's up to you. Is it worth $40? Well, for me it was. So, you may want to subscribe to this guy, Joe Daniels, and see if maybe he sends out an email during Christmas or Thanksgiving or what have you, and maybe you can get it for a really cheap price like I did. But that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using these guys to do a lot of my referencing for poses and just for proportions and size reasons, like when I'm building this bank. And then finally, I wanted to show, this is called Kuadro. It's a free image organization tool, I guess. Reference where you need it. So it is available for Windows and Mac. It's totally free. And, Mac version would be up here somewhere in the top right corner. It would show you a little icon that looks like something like this. And in the Windows version, it's down here and it's right here. So you're going to click on it. You're going to do add local image. And I'm going to select the collage. It's going to come up here. You can move it around. I always right click and then go down to always on top. And then, no matter what you're doing, you can use the mouse the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. You can middle click and drag it around. So let's say I wanted to look at here, focus on this one. I can grab here and just kind of, reposition it. So it's always on top and it's always going to be there for reference. So that's that. That's where I'm getting reference for the bank, for my characters, using the Kuadro app. And so next time I'm going to open up Maya and I'm going to start blocking out a bank and getting some reference by using these characters and start building out the scene. Thanks a lot for checking this out, guys. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Consider subscribing. It would help me out a lot. This is a brand new channel, but hopefully you're going to find it worth it. And if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Comment. I really appreciate any feedback so I can keep making this better. Thanks again. Take care.